only way to discover the limits of the possible is to go beyond into the impossible. A magnificent morning to us all gathered here. I'm Dept Mba department. It's my colossal delight to welcome you all, and I would like to extend my gracious and inclusive welcome to you all, and on behalf of Veltech Hightech Dr. Dr. Shakuntala Engineering College, for the guest lecture in an overview of HR. HR, Human Resource Management, is the collective term for all systems, all formal systems to help managing employees and other stakeholders within a company. To know and get knowledge about HRM, we have our eminent resource person, Mr. Mohan sparing his valuable time and knowledge with us, despite of his busy schedule. Thank you, sir. One idea can change the world. One step can start a journey. But a prayer can change the impossible. Now I would like to give my heartiest happy welcome to our illustrious resource person, Mr. Mohan sir, Business Analyst and Project Manager, Solver Mind Solutions and Technologies Private Limited, Chennai, and our Honorable Principal Professor Dr. E. Kamalanathan sir, and Accelerating Head of the Department Dr. A. Suresh Kumar sir, our beloved faculty members, and to my dear future executives and entrepreneurs. Every lamp is not a lamp in wise men's sight. That's the lamp which proves pure radiance bright. To make this day a blessed one, I invite a resource person, our principal, our HOD, to kindle the lamp. I also invite all the dignitaries for the same. Welcoming someone is best part of any occasion. I hereby welcome Ms. Neha to address the gathering.
People smile is the best universal welcome. It can make the day a good day easily. A wonderful morning to one of our gathered here. On behalf of the management of Veltech Hightech, Dr. Rangarajan and Dr. Shakuntala Engineering College, Founder and Chairman, Colonel Professor Dr. V. R. Rangarajan sir, Vice Chairman Dr. Srimati Shakuntala Rangarajan ma'am, Chairperson and Managing Trustee Srimati Mahalakshmi Kishore Kumar ma'am, Vice President Mr. K.V.D. Kishore Kumar sir, the man of excellence, dedication and devotion, our Honorable Principal Professor Dr. E. Kamalanathan sir, Dean Academic Dr. Ravi sir, other dean and HODs of our college being supportive pillars of our institution. Our astonishing and energetic head of the department, Dr. A. Suresh Kumar sir, our supportive faculty members and my dear future entrepreneurs, HRs and budding manager. A special invite to our phenomenal and eminent speaker, guest of the day, Mr. Mohan sir, Project Manager, Solver Mind Solutions and Technologies Private Limited, Chennai. A cool and enthusiastic heartfelt welcome to you, sir. We are very much jubilant to have you with us on this exciting role. Mr. Mohan Sasanka is having a decade of corporate experience, is here with us today to share the view and insight about overview of HR. So today, it's my privilege to be standing in front of you all, welcome you all for this guest lecture. We are awaiting eagerly for your words, sir. I hope everyone will be benefited through this wonderful session. Once again, welcome you all. Have a good day.
I consider it to be a great honor and privilege to welcome our esteemed resource person, Mr. Mohan Sasanka sir. I now call upon Mr. Shakti to give a brief introduction of our chief guest.
Future, but you can change your habits, and surely your habits will change your future. Said by Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. Good morning to the dignitaries on the dais and to my dear participants. I deem it a pride and privilege to introduce today's resource person, Mr. Mohan Sasanka Mr. Mohan graduated in Life Science from Sri Vijayaniketan and done post-graduation in Human Resource Management and Finance Management from the reputed Sri Venkateswara University. Mr. Mohan is having 12 years of corporate exposure and 11 years experience growing activities in shipping fields and handling shipboard internal audits, quality, safety and environmental compliance audits on board vessels. To his credit, he is certified internal auditor, certified risk management and incident investigation course, advanced diploma in human resource management. Mr. Mohan is a high-quality communicator, content writer, motivational speaker. His experiences are assistant crew manager in OSM Maritime Group, QSC audit coordinator in B Group, crew coordinator in B Ships India Private Limited, crew administrator in Vigo, HR associate recruiter in Skills Bank Consultants. At present, Mr. Mohan is working for Solarmine Solutions and Technologies Private Limited as a business analyst and project manager. Such an experienced and inspiring person is with us today to talk on and overview of HR. I hope this session is going to be very informative and interesting. Once again, a warm welcome to you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Shaktivel. I request our illustrious resource person, Mr. Mohan Sasanka Mutyala sir, on the podium to share his thoughts with us today.
On the rise, my dear boys and girls, thanks a lot for the warm welcome, and I'm here to tell you if the people would have been there, like what would be the themes I would have been, if we have been more informative, if the people would have been there. Well, what is the thing is, even if PPT is not there, so I think like this is a good thing that PPT is not there. At least you can see my face. And thanks, first of all, thanks for the person who has put this podium so that it is hiding my half of the body. And first I said, respected gentlemen on the dais, and then I was saying boys and girls. Can anyone over here tell me what is the difference between gentleman and a man? Anyone? Yes? You're saying something? Yes? No? When I was, I think 7 years old, I was just walking by across the street, and it happens like I have seen a tailor shop. It is TMR Tailors. It is not a sophisticated one. The owner of that shop name is T. Malarity. So, there was a caption. God created men. We will make you gentlemen. So, it is not the attire or it is not the clothes that makes a man to look like a gentleman. It's about his physical things. Like, it's about how he presents himself before everyone in that particular environment. In general terms, we call it, we use a separate term for that. And it happened so in approximately 2010-11, where I was working as a HR trainer in Bangalore. I went and I gave a sort of, as a part of my project, because I want to do a live project in MBA. So it happened sometime like I went and I gave my live project papers to the organizational experts, and I asked them to fill, out of which one question is, if there is anything across your organization that you want to change to make your organization more productive, what is that? So generally to all the questions I have given options, but only for that question I have given just a blank, fill in the blank. Approximately 100% of the people has come up, and this is part of my MBA project I am saying, approximately 100% people have come up with one word: attitude. As a human being, as a presentee over here, I just wanted to ask one question. Can anyone over here tell me what is attitude? Any guesses? Anything? First of all, I think like we, with due respect sir, we have to change this. This is not a guest lecture. This is like a friendly meet with the people. I think like they are getting pressurized. See, I am like you. I just came here to do a friendly meet with you. It is not any lecture. We will just speak some stories. I'll just tell you some stories like where you have heard from your grandmother or something in your childhood. We'll just share our things, that's all. I'm not here to do a one-sided presentation. So just to make you feel flexible, I wanted to introduce a thing called military discipline over here. You know what is meant by military discipline? I will say good morning. Everybody has to wish me good morning back in military style. Are we ready? Are we ready?
Yes, sir.
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 Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning,
I want this to go till principal. Principal should feel like something is really happening and he should come here. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Perfect. So now everybody is feeling flexible. I can see smiles at least on your faces. Till now, like you are feeling like you are thinking something I know, something you don't know. Whatever you know, I want to put it in a proper way with this kind of presentations. That's why my presentation name is The Secret. So I came here to tell you the secret, which I wanted you to share with so many other people in your life. So like when we are going, can I have this like this? When we are going, I told you like the thing about here, attitude. Going forward, we will have a small thing about this attitude. We will have a small discussion about this attitude. As I asked you earlier, before we introduced military discipline, now I can see people are flexible. Can any one of you here explain me what is attitude?
The way we speak, the specific behavior
Super.
one have.
Super, the specific?
Behavior the one have.
Super, next.
The way we behave.
The way we behave, super. Then, next, last one. Anyone, last.
The way we react to a particular thing about a particular.
Super, excellent. Everybody has given right answers. The way we behave is a behavior. The way we speak, the way we take things, these are not comes under perception. Attitude is something beyond. Attitude is something beyond behavior. Attitude is something beyond our perception. Attitude is nothing like you don't go for if you're googling, in the Google dictionary will say like attitude is the way that you think. The way that you think is called perception. It is not attitude, my friends. When I addressed on the dais legendaries as gentlemen, and I addressed you as boys and girls, how many of you thought this particular person who has come here to do a friendly meet with us should call me a gentleman, should call me a lady? How many of you thought in that way? We are still not boys and girls, we are already ladies and gentlemen. How many of you have that thought? No one? No, you are half only. Good. Well, ladies and gentlemen of the dais, now I can feel it. You are already gentlemen. You are already, gentle ladies. Can everyone stand up once? At ease, like as I said, at ease. Now you start moving your hands like this down, like this. You start moving your hands. I want everyone in this hall to do this. You start moving your hands, keep your fingers like this, start moving your hands down. One hand, any one hand, buddy. Any one hand. Any one hand. Start moving it. Start moving it fast. Fast. Slowly raise your hand. Slowly raise your hand. If you are feeling not flexible of raising it towards this side, raise it towards this side. Slowly raise your hand. Slowly raise your hand. Slowly raise your hand. Take it on to the top. Take it on to the top. Perfect. Take it on to the top. Now bring it slowly down. Bring it slowly down. I said slowly. Bring it slowly down. Start moving it fast. Start moving it fast. Slowly down, I said, like slowly down. Okay? Now come, touch your cheeks. Everyone, come, touch your cheeks. Everybody, come, touch your cheeks. Fine, very good, perfect. You can sit down. How many of you touched the chin? How many of you touched your cheeks? You? Cheeks, all cheeks. All cheeks, anyone chin? Anyone chin? People who do the things. I asked you to touch the cheeks, I touched my chin. If you would have touched your chin by looking at me, then you you all would have been failing. You have touched your cheeks because this is what the instruction that has been given to you. This is called attitude. This is the difference between the people who actually see the things and do the things. When you are coming into the industry, you actually have to do the things. It is not see the things. When you see the things, you respond to that, you behave. When you actually do the thing, it is called attitude. For example, how this attitude will come to you. Like people will say, like, generally people will say, if you are behaving it wrong, people will say, behave yourself. They will not say attitude yourself. They'll say behave yourself. Behavior is the thing that you can change. Attitude is the thing that you cannot change. Attitude is an innate one. Then what you have to do? What you should make to align that particular attitude kind of stuff. Is there anything called good attitude? Is there anything called bad attitude? Anyone? Is there anything called good and bad attitude? Raise your hands if somebody says, I know the difference between good and bad attitude. I don't. Trust me, I have not asked any question. Just raise your hands. Is there any person over here who knows what is a good attitude and what is a bad attitude? If you know, that's fine. I will not ask any more questions. Anybody? So you don't know, or you do not want to know? Because in an organization, people will be, under the training and development section, they will be differentiating people like this. If there is a person who knows something, we will give him promotion and take him out. I mean, from that particular position, we will make him promote to the next level. If there is any other person who don't know something, then we will give him some training and we will make him to learn something and we will give him next level position. If there is any person who doesn't want to know, then leave him out of the organization. So now, here this particular person who left the organization, do you think, how many of you think that he has a bad attitude? No one. There is, sorry? Yes? Don't even have an attitude. Every particular person, every individual, every living organism, my friend, will have an attitude. There is nothing called good attitude or bad attitude. There is something called right attitude or wrong attitude. If your attitude is not fitting my organizational terms and conditions, then you are unfit to be in that organization. Consider it on any other environment. I am not speaking about an organization. I am speaking about environment. Entire earth. If a person is doing murders, he is not fit to live in this society because his attitude will not work out with me. He is living in a wrong society. So that means there is something called good attitude and there is another thing called a bad attitude. How this attitude will come out? How this particular attitude will come out? Or how you can judge a person by looking at him saying like this guy is having good attitude or this guy is having bad attitude. There are certain aspects to see if you have to judge something based on your attitude, or if you are judging some person who is who is having better attitude or bad attitude, or right attitude or wrong attitude. How you can judge a person? Basis on the environment that he lives upon, basis on the family that he has come from, basis on the work environment, basis on the social environment that he is living across, basis on the political environment that is there in that particular country, basis on the religious aspects that this person is living within, basis on the spiritual content of the person. Some people will call it as IQ, EQ, SQ, which is intelligent quotient, emotional quotient, spiritual quotient. People will count, people will measure your attitude basis on these type of aspects. For instance, if there is a family where mother and father used to quarrel, used to beat each other, their kids you can see like they will beat each other among themselves again. If you see a good family where they will be living prosperously and they are making things generously. You can see that kids are also living in a generous environment. So this is called attitude. This is called good attitude. If you see in a work environment, if you are very much honest with somebody, I think like 90% of the people will not like you. If you are brutally honest with your colleagues or your friends or something, few people will accept that and most of the people will not accept that. That is your work or school or college environment. If you are living in a society and you are very much honest towards something and if you are with good attitude, you might be welcomed by 100% of the people because now you have come out of a family, you started going to school or college or an organization, you come to a society where the society is being managed by political, religious and spiritual aspects. For instance, there are so many people who come to you saying like, I am a guru, I will preach you how to get a good attitude or how to get into a company. We do not need anyone. We do not need anyone. We do not need any support to get into any company. Only thing that we need is attitude. As I told you, it is being proven. The people has asked, we want people with good attitude. For example, the second part, we have seen environment from which we came up, which will help us to get better attitude. We will see the second thing, based on the experiences that we have. If we come across any bad experience while you are driving, consider like, we will discuss about this experience after discussing something about discipline. How many of you think, if I am disciplined, my freedom is lost? Or how many of you think like, if you want to be disciplined, you will lose at least 0.5% of your freedom? How many of you think? No one? No one? At least little freedom it will go off if I am disciplined. You are wrong. If discipline kills freedom, then I will not be, making an insert with this particular tummy that I have. I used to wear, t-shirts, jeans, and I would have come to the office very freely. Any person, any human being. So that is where the difference comes from. A generous individual, a person with good or right attitude, and the person with wrong attitude is disciplined. For example, you will have small kids in your house, right? Anybody, nephews, niece, anyone. They love chocolates, right? Military discipline. Military discipline. They love chocolates?
Yes.
Perfect. If you give them a big bucket of chocolates, their capacity is they can finish that off in a day, or in 2 days they can finish it off, everything, right? Right?
Yes, sir.
Perfect. If you give them fully, you are making him indisciplined. That will end up in losing his teeth, thereby affecting his health, losing his freedom. If you are giving him 2 chocolates per day, he will enjoy that, thereby his health will be in good condition, all his pleasures are within him, he will enjoy the freedom. I was coming by this Chennai outer ring road, there will be 3 lanes. Consider a car is going like this on the highway. Consider a car going like this on the highway. Who will reach home first?
Straight.
Perfect. You are disciplined. You have got your freedom. You will do the things productively. You will reach your destination safely and faster. That is where you should learn self-discipline. How self-discipline? Who will teach you self-discipline? First, HR. Who will teach? Perfect. Mother. Perfect. Mother will teach you. Mother is your first HR. She will guide you how to learn things. If you are seeing something, what is it? He is your father. this is so and so, this is your sister, this is your brother, this is so and so, you have to go to college, you have to go learn something. Then the second level of HR, teachers. Teachers, you will be spending hardly maybe 4 or 5 hours live. That means like you take off your sleeping hours with your with your parents. 4 hours, 5 hours on approximate ideally per day with your parents, but you will be spending approximately on an average 8 to 10 hours with your teachers. Teachers will teach you how you have to be productive, how you can be with right attitude, and how you can sustain in this society. Because I'll tell you, I'll come up about this teachers topic later. Anyways, like we are going in a flow. When I speak something about your experiences in life, your environment that you have lived, and the people who give you that experiences will combine together to give you a proper picture of what is your attitude. This is my attitude. I am good. Today I am standing here before everyone and I am speaking publicly. This is my attitude. I came in an attire where it is presentable to everybody, where my professor of biochemistry, who is right now, even though he is dean and head of the department of MBA over here, I know him 13 years back as my professor of biochemistry. I will tell you something about him, because if I speak something about gurus, I will become a bit emotional. He used to write those who are out of life sciences. You might not understand what is this actually. I am a life sciences student, and from until 7th standard I was like average guy. Unfortunately, from 10th standard I have been topper, and my intermediate I scored 90%. And when I come to degree, I was on top 10 in life sciences department. And when I come to MBA, I've got best academic student of that particular academic year. And this particular person, Dr. Suresh Kumar, I'm really sorry sir, I'm spelling your name. He taught us what is a discipline. He taught us, if you see, I'm really sorry, those who are from non-life sciences background, there is something called photosynthesis. That is plants will take carbon dioxide and release oxygen. This is what a 10th standard student knows about photosynthesis. That means take light and synthesizes the food, whatever the plant wants. The technical aspect of that is C3 and C4 cycle, which is, if you consider this red board, 2 times of this red board. The C3 cycle will be 2 times of this red board. An average student like me, in order to draw that C3 cycle, I will take approximately 1.5 or 2 hours, that C3 cycle fully. And our period of biochemistry used to be 1 hour or 45 minutes on an average. He used to draw that C3 cycle in 20 minutes, because we have to write it down on our book. We used to write it on portrait mode on our book. He came to us and he turned that book. You draw a landscape so that see, why I am saying all these things is, when I come here also, even while I am coming here, in the home he called me. Shashank, you started right? You are coming via opening code. Okay, you take this side. How he treated me 13 years back, he is treating me in the same way even right now. Shashank, once you just come to the gate, you just give me a call if you find any difficulty. You are wearing formals, right? Because I have to wear casuals after coming to IT industry. This formal shirt was just lying behind. Wearing formals, right? When I am coming to Suresh sir, I should wear formals. So that is what inner thing in my mind. So the way he showed us the path to be a disciplined individual, even though you might have known him maybe this year or a couple of years back, but I know him since last 13 years. And the way he portrayed that C3 cycle, I still remember. how a carbon dioxide molecule goes inside and what is the thing that is going out and how an oxygen molecule is coming out. And don't ask me to draw, I cannot draw right now. And similar way, C3, C4 cycling. He used to know C4 cycling. He used to tell us how to hold a test tube. Even right now, when I come over here, he was just adjusting. You should be in a row, adjust. You should be in a row, adjust, adjust. You come here, you will be photogenic. So if you stand here, like the photographer can take the photographs. Even till now. So, you should be privileged. I am blessed. You should be privileged to have such an iconic person, in your department, frankly. I am feeling very sad, I am feeling utter sad that he is right now in this position. But you all should feel happy that he is in this position because he should have been, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam has become President of India only once. While coming from the Rajbhavan, he has taken his suitcase and he come over. I am not saying that he should be President of India, he should be more than that. He is staying here, that is his unfortunate thing. He is staying here, that would be a fortunate situation for all of you. But, okay, I think as I told you, when I am speaking about guru, teacher and all things, I become a bit emotional and I go off the track. Right, so now we were speaking something about attitude. We were speaking something about right attitude and wrong attitude. And we will speak a little bit about SWOT. Strength, weakness, opportunities, threat. Strength, will be disciplined. Perfect, nobody is sleeping, thank God. So, the thing is, if some management gurus or if some people like Nityananda comes to you and says, I will take out your weaknesses. Because in our degrees, there used to be a girl called Chodita. She came onto the dais and we were asked to tell about SWOT analysis. Tell about your strengths and weaknesses. And she came onto the dais and she said, I don't have any strengths and I do not want to discuss about my weaknesses. That's all, finish. That was a jam session, that is just a minute session. She told these 2 lines and she walked off. How many of you think you have some weaknesses? Any weaknesses? What's your weakness? Ma'am, if I may ask. Please don't say I do not want to reveal my weakness. Any one small thing.
The way I react.
To a situation. Okay, that means your attitude is your weakness. Okay, then one more. Right side, come on. No? So that means you don't have any weaknesses or you don't want to convey your weaknesses. No weaknesses. Zero weakness. Sorry? Don't want to reveal your weaknesses, sir. So that that will be strengths to other person. Perfect. Gentlemen, I would like to say, whatever you are thinking as your weaknesses are actually not your weaknesses. For example, there are some people in the society called, where you will be hearing their names also, winners, and there are certain group of people who people used to call as losers. What losers actually do? They will try to show their weaknesses out and they say they will try to use their weaknesses as opportunities. Sir, I don't have one hand, I don't have one leg, I cannot walk, I cannot write, and I am feeling, sir, I am feeling very lazy today. I want to show this as an opportunity so that I don't want to do this work. Winners will not look at their weaknesses. They will look at their strength and they will work out their weaknesses. Losers will look at their weaknesses and they will work out with their strengths. I'll tell you one small example. If anyone of you are anger, you have some sort of anger management, some sessions that are going on, or you are feeling very angry to, or you will react to any situation very angry. Anybody? Yes, sir? Okay. How many of you heard MAD organization? MAD, MADD, MAD organization. MAD organization has been started in US. There used to be a mother and a kid and a small kid, and this mother, like she used to make her very good. She was a small kid who was about to go to first standard or something over there in the school, and this mother is a working woman. She used to walk across the streets. She used to drop her kid in the school, and she used to go to the office. And that baby girl is the only kid that this couple were having. Unfortunately, in one of the incidents that were taking place, she was crossing the road. A car came and hit the kid, and kid died. This woman got angry. That anger has revolutionized United States of America plus 23 countries across North America and South America to change their traffic regulations, to change their license issuance laws, and the government has introduced 17 new laws, and they named that organization as Mothers Against Drunken Drivers. Friends, one woman got angry. One woman got angry. 17 new regulations has been passed. 17 new laws has been introduced. Now MAD is across 28 countries in America and Europe continents. One woman got angry. Let me repeat this. One woman got angry. And there used to be a javelin thrower, and it is not now, not Mr. Chopra who has won the Olympics right now. There used to be a javelin thrower in 1979 or 69, I don't remember the day, I don't remember the year. He was the winner and record breaker in high wall jump. At that time the record was somewhere around, I'm not so sure about the numbers, and he beat the record. It so happened one day that this particular person was being interviewed by one journalist across CNN, and he asked, how did you make this wall jump? How could you able to break the old records? He just gave an answer. I threw my sword onto the other side of the wall, my body followed. Let me repeat this again. I threw my sword on the other side of the wall, my body followed. This is where your attitude works. You put your soul in the work that you are doing. You put your soul in whatever the things that you are doing. For example, if you are preparing a presentation, have you ever seen a PPT presentation without bullet points? How many of you here are dare enough to do single slided PPT presentations? Have you ever done this across single slided PPT presentations? I didn't carry any notes. There is nothing here. Only a slide with this is lion, my zodiac sign, and attitude. That's all. We discussed somewhere around 15 minutes about attitude, about different aspects of attitude. And sir, I request if this can be implemented rather than just a minute sessions, single slided presentations can be introduced. Please don't curse me, this is for your good order. If you come across, if you have content, what is public speaking? Public speaking skills, you should have a style, you should have subject. If you are conveying in your own style that is being pleased by the audience, and if you are having content, you don't need to worry. You can make presentations like this. As I told you, one woman got anger. If you want to be successful in your life, just see what the masses are doing. I'll tell you one small thing. Every 30 years, there will be a change of trend. We have seen landlines, we have seen cordless phones, We have seen mobile phones. We have seen, cellular and mobile phones. And right now we are in smartphone era. Every 30 years, there will be a change of trend. This trend changing pattern will be initiated by only one person. That one person is called as trend setter. And that one person, in his path to change the trend, he will show the path to everybody by putting a torch. I am going in this way. If you want to be successful in your life, see what group of people are doing. If you want to achieve something, if you want to be successful in life, see what group of people are doing. Do exactly opposite to that. Let the group of people follow you. Be a trendsetter. I can see that zeal and everything in every one of you. And don't ask me like I have to wait for another 30 years to make a new trend or not. You all are trendsetters. You all are torch bearers. When somebody addressed over here, welcome to the entrepreneurs. I felt very happy, Miss Sneha. Thank you. I felt very happy because we need that zeal of entrepreneurship. Right now, India is in need of entrepreneurship. Rather than employment, entrepreneurship is very much required. And thanks for that. Now, coming into the topic back, as I was saying you, everything will start with one person. Now, as I promised, this session we will discuss something about some stories, how your grandmother used to say. There used to be a French king called Napoleon Bonaparte. How many of you heard? Napoleon Bonaparte. He was Italian born and he used to work for French military. And one day it so happened, approximately 1800s, there used to be a war called War of Wagmar. So this War of Wagmar is being named as the revolutionized war across European nations because Russia and Austria has been fighting against French and European nations. And the Dalapati is Napoleon. Napoleon lost 270,000 of his soldiers, and one side of the war is going on, the other side Napoleon Bonaparte has taken 10 people along with him in order to get out of the sight of that particular war location. And he took a small boat, they used their hands and they dive across the sea, they went to the other side of the world and then they got onto the shore. The moment they got onto the shore, it was 10 days, there was no food, only sea water, that was salt water. Everybody drank that salt water. They come across the shore, they found some fruits, they had the fruits, and then Napoleon asked them to burn down that boat. They went. People ask why I have to do that? Do you have any reason why I have to burn that boat? No. Napoleon will not accept those things. Without questions asked, the boat was burnt down. Now, Napoleon said, we do not have a way to go back. We have only one way. We are right now in Austria kingdom. We have to go, either acquire that kingdom and make that as our own kingdom and live here, or we will die. Ladies and gentlemen, 11 people, including Napoleon. Napoleon plus 10 people. That's all. Nobody was there. He wanted to go and acquire a kingdom. Everybody walked across their army, whatever are the army settlers, you can say. The barricades will be there, where the army soldiers will be concentrated in one area. They went to that area. Approximately 3 lakhs army personnel were there. Nobody, like how the society has changed right now. If you want to see Napoleon Bonaparte, you can Google it. Wikipedia will give his picture, Google Images will give his picture. Nobody saw Napoleon Bonaparte earlier. Now they walked across, nobody knows that he is Napoleon. He just walked exactly in the middle of the that particular barricade which is there with 3 lakhs people surrounding him, king in the fort. He went over there along with his 10 men and he said, "My dear brothers, those who are fighting for your motherland, fight. Go ahead. I am here fighting for my mother. My mother was being killed by your fellow soldiers. She is now waiting in the heaven. If I die right now and go to my mother losing this war, my mother will not accept me. So I need to win this war and I am fighting for my mother. So those who are fighting for their motherland, go to the other side. Those who want to fight along with me to win this battle, come to my side." Ladies and gentlemen, 11 people, 3 lakh soldiers. One of the boys has come. Who the hell are you? Napoleon Bonaparte. Everybody left their weapons. 3 lakh soldiers, 2,99,990 soldiers were behind him. Rest of the 10 soldiers went running across the kingdom to the fort to say that Napoleon is in our kingdom. Total, his army has now become 3 lakhs. He fought, won the war, dead at an age of 52 after he won this war of Baghdad. What do you call this? In the previous example, one woman got angry. She turned her weakness into a strength. She changed the laws of United States of America, introduced new laws. This example, Napoleon with only 11 people, people will think that is a weakness, people will think that is a threat, which he has turned that into opportunity. He has acquired Austria, which is one of the largest kingdoms of Europe at that time. I mean, after this USSR thing has come up, it has gone, and won the war of Baghdad. What it is called as? Next slide. Leadership. Leadership. I will tell you another story. As I told you, like as I promised, I came here as a storyteller because when I joined my first company in 2011, I think the interview question that has been posed to me was like, what you want to become in Chennai. I attended in Rahijan, I was in Mount Road in 2010-11, I think. I said like I wanted to become a movie director. Then he said AVM Studios is that side, not here. So I will keep saying the stories as I promised. So please bear with me. If you are getting sleep, please go to bed. No issues. And military discipline?
Yes, sir.
Perfect. Napoleon military, 3 lakhs.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Again?
Yes, sir.
Last time?
Yes, sir.
Perfect. So now, how many of you know Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam? Nobody knows. Guys, come on. Perfect, everybody knows. How many of you know Satish Dhawan? Okay, not so many people like whoever knows APJ Abdul Kalam. So I think, okay, good. Perfect. Good. We will discuss something about APJ Abdul Kalam. It happened during the era of Indira Gandhi when APJ Abdul Kalam was started to launch PSLVs, Polar Satellite Launch Vehicles, and GSLVs, Geo Saturn Launch Vehicles. So Satish Dhawan was the head of the department during that particular time, and chief engineer was Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. And they made this satellite, the PSLV satellite, and it so happened one day that they were about to launch and they were about to make everything out of that, and the mission was a huge failure. I think it was PSLV-4, if I remember correctly. Indira Gandhi called up Satish Dhawan and she tried to warn him, and he said like, it is of my responsibility. It is of my responsibility and we will relaunch this one. She did not agree to fund the next project. He then asked his entire team to go for vacation. He came before press. He said, this particular failure is because of me. It is not because of my team. Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam was the one who was just beside him during this entire mission because fortunately or unfortunately he was not married and he couldn't take his family to the vacation, so he was free there. And next 2 years later, they relaunched the same PSLV along with 4 Russian satellites, 2 US satellites. India said they will not give the funds. Russia and US has funded that one. And they successfully launched that particular project, PSLV-4, along with these the other countries' satellites. You know what Satish Dhawan did? He went for a vacation. He asked all his fellow members to move forward towards the press and address the press. How many of you have seen Bahubali? Perfect. During this war, during this particular war scene that is happening in Bahubali 1, the mother of those 2 kings, Bahubali and Bhalaladev, will be equally distributing the army. At that time, Bhalaladev will say, I am the leader of West Side Army. Bahubali will say, East Side Army is my responsibility. Leaders will feel their team as their responsibility. The managers or some kind of other stuff of people who call themselves as leaders and who will say I am doing all the stuff, you are not doing all the stuff, come on boy. Those kind of people will say, these people are working under me. I want to tell you one thing, the organizations have been changed drastically. Even right now, see, I am a project manager. I used to handle one subordinate in 2011, slowly grew together and I started handling 5 people together and 5 people who worked along with me. And right now, I am responsible for approximately 20 employees in Vietnam and 5 employees over here. So total 25 people are my responsibility. I'm not saying I'm leader, but I'm a manager, of course. But who wants to take the responsibility of the entire team members? They are called leaders. That is called leadership. This is called leadership. You have your teachers who is coming to you, who is approximately 10,000 times more resourceful than you, who is coming to you and teaching something which you all need to align, who are sharing their wisdom with you. They are called leaders. Every day, touch the feet of your mother, touch the feet of your father for giving birth, touch the feet of your teachers who is giving you rebirth, who is changing your name as so-called person A, MBA. You will print like this in your marriage invitation, right? So and so person MBA. They rewrote your name, teachers, leaders, touch their feet. The moment I saw Suresh sir in the ground stairs, I touched his feet. I felt like, the moment I saw these kind of legendaries, I felt like I should bow my head towards his feet. These are true leaders. And I'm not exaggerating or anything. I'm saying you the facts. You are blessed to have these kind of resourceful people surrounding you. You are blessed to have, I will tell you one more small story. I promise that I think this will be the last one. It happened few thousand years back. There was one person called Hiranyaksha. He has taken all the Vedas and everything from Devaloka and he went into Patalaloka. So Sri Mahavishnu has come. Don't think that I am more religious. Yes, I am, of course. He came in the form of tortoise. He took him out of that Patalaloka. He took that Vedas along with him and he killed him. It so happened few thousand years later, there used to be a couple called Rama and Sita who were living their life in a jungle, where another person by name Ravanasura has taken Sita to the other part of the country or to another country, and then that is the bad deed that has happened. And it so happened after a few thousand years, again there used to be two brothers who fought for their own kingdom. And this time, that guy came from his kingdom, this guy came from his kingdom, and he fought at one place we used to call that as Kurukshetra. So if you see this particular three different scenarios, what is the cause of war and what is the place of war? If you see the first era, the cause of war is knowledge. Hiranyaksha thought the people will be more resourceful than him, so he took all the Vedas, Upanishads, everything, and he put it underground. And the place of war, it is between two different worlds. And the second thing, the cause of war is only one lady. And the place of war is in between two countries. One person by name Rama has taken approximately 3 lakh monkeys along with him and fought towards Ravana to establish Dharma. Now, coming to the third thing. What is the cause of war? It's lifeless land. People used to call that as kingdom. People used to call that as throne. And the place of war is within their kingdom in a common place called Kurukshetra. Now, people are fighting. The cause of war is a piece of paper. In India, we used to call that as rupee. In US, they used to call that as dollars. And on a general, people used to call that as currency or money. And the war is within ourselves. War is within our own brain. These are the leaders who will enlighten us, who will say, who will get us out of that particular tamas. Tamas is called, tamas is what? Anybody? The darkness. Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya. Tamas is the darkness. People who will draw the darkness out of you, and they will torch bear you, and they will trend set you, and they will walk you into the light. So these are called true leaders. I feel everybody in this room, except a couple of guys who are sleeping already, will become definitely leaders, and those two will definitely become politicians. And the last one. I said this will be the end of the story. Now we will come to the actual scenario. Next. When I was doing this HR training, when I was doing this HR interviews, people used to get scared to come on to my panel. Anyone volunteer? Anyone? I'll just ask one question. Or you want me to ask generalized, and you do not want to volunteer yourself? Or you want to ask me the same question generalized? Yeah? Please. Please, come on to the rise. Your good name? Karthi. Karthikeyan. Nice meeting you, Mr. Karthikeyan. We have Karthikeyan on the dais. Now, who is your favorite hero, Karthikeyan? No issues. I'll handle you, Suresh. Yeah. No, hero.
Samantha.
Fine, Karthikeyan like Samantha? Fine, super. Now, Karthikeyan, think, I'm HR and you have attended the interview. Think in that way. Or else we are good friends. We are just making a change. Okay? This is good, yeah? Now, think that nobody is in the room. Entire world has vanished. Everything gone. No human beings on the earth itself. All buildings got collapsed. Except only one small room that is there. And Samantha is walking towards you. Okay? Fine? Which movie of Samantha you like? Anjan. That is Surya. Okay, fine. So, in that movie, like whatever that song, what you think that in your brain. I do not want to make it here because we have legendaries here. Fine? Okay? Same way like Samantha is walking towards you. Fine? What will you do? Let me give you the options. You don't control yourself. Let me give you the options. First option, what will you do? But nobody is there. Entire world vanished. Even if Anjali was gone now, but no, she is there all alone. Only you are there. That's all. What will you do? First option, you will go and hug her, or you will go and kiss her, or you will say you will propose her, or you do option D, none of the all of the.
I propose.
You propose. Nobody is there. World is all alone. I mean, you and she is alone. You will only propose her. Thank you. Mic for solution.
Yes, sir.
Those who doesn't know Tamil, like in mic I cannot say this. What I will do with someone. Not me. Fine. In the HR panel, when I used to ask this question, people used to give similar kind of answers. Let me tell you what HR thinks. Why HR will put this kind of questions to any employee who is coming into the organization is in your MBA, whatever you are going to study in your curriculum, in your freshers, like you will be going to study. There are certain aspects in MBA where employer will give you salary, you will give your time to the employer. The time you would have spent with your girlfriend, you would have spent with your father and mother, you would have spent with your loved ones, you would have spent with your anybody else, or you would have spent based on your habit which will give you happiness. But you are giving that particular time from your life to an employer, where employer is paying you some salary. Now there is something called satisfaction of an employee. When an employee reaches a kind of satisfaction, what he will do, he will try to think, I should do something to the organization. Now I will tell you this Samantha question, what is the context of any HR asking this kind of questions is, if an organization is there, where you will lose everything in the organization. That organization is kind of running in losses, where they can only pay you the salaries, there will be no hikes for another 10 years, everything got vanished. A new employer who has recently established is giving you a package of 2 times or 3 times of your salary, which is so-called walking Samantha. Will you move? Will you move to the other organization? This is the question that has been posed to me in 2010 in one management meeting that held in Sri Venkateswara University, where I won the award. This was the last HR round that was being there, and this is the question that has been posed to me by one of the HODs over there in Sri Venkateswara University. And yes, I answered him. Option D, I will not do anything. If you are when you are answering to a question, you are saying nothing, like you are perfectly alright, you are a gentleman again, no issues. When you are answering to a technical round, there can be a right answer or there can be a wrong answer. When you are answering to a HR, there is nothing like right answer or wrong answer. Whatever the answer that you are giving, HR will think, okay, this is how this guy is. This is how the HR will measure the capabilities of the people. These days, the people thinking capability has reached to an extent that they can read others' minds also. They will just pose questions, they will read their mind. Okay, how is this guy? Will this guy be fruitful to our organization? He will stay for 10 years, he will work for us. He will not move across the organization. He will be here with us for some time. If there is any organization who is doing him like Samantha, will he move out of organization? When you are answering any questions towards the HR round, think twice, thrice, and then answer. Don't, it is not like you should give the wrong answer. It is like what you want, what you need. These days, I think everybody over here is awesome. I can proudly say, world is waiting for you. Maybe for your entrepreneurship, maybe for your employment, maybe for any other thing, whatever you want it to be like in your life. World is waiting for you. Welcome to the world, and thanks a lot for giving me this opportunity. Next slide, please. And done, you can clap. Somebody forward, can you make one more clip, please? Yeah, it came now. Any queries, anything you wanted to sort it out? Not about the presentation. The presentation is a general kind of stuff that I just wanted to come here, tell you some stories, and make a friendship with you. And when you complete your MBA, you should be in a zeal that, you should be in a confidence that you will get a job, or you start your own firm, which India is in a very big boom right now. Become entrepreneurs. Try becoming entrepreneurs. Start your own firm. Participate in each and every item that organization is framing for you. Don't leave single item also. Everything. Go to all man meets. I mean, we used to call it as management meetings, and in a short term we used to call it as man meets. Go to all man meets. He used to take me to Chittoor, he used to take me to Chennai, he used to take me to across South India, like I think we traveled all the places, in and around Chennai, in and around Tirupati, we circled all the places. He used to take us over there, and he used to ask us to present. There used to be one more guy, his name is Srivatsa, so he used to be only this much, and he is our future IAS officer. So he is preparing for civils for now, and he got a job as assistant professor in anthropology department at Sri Venkateswara University. He used to take both of us. He used to put our bus charge, and he used to take both of us to the universities. He used to ask us to give presentations. This is the smallest presentation that I have ever given in my life. I suggest everybody to do a one-slided presentation during your sessions that are coming. I request everybody to do one-slided presentations. No content. If you write content, I'll tell you what happened. People will stop looking at you. They will read over there and they will sleep. Or else they will say, Macha, send me that PDF, I'll read it later. Finish. Don't put any content on your PPTs. Present yourself, not the PPT. When you are going to present something, think that you are a movie director and you are saying some story to a producer. Where that must happen, that must work out. You tell that story to the people over here. Make them attracted. And you won. So I wish everyone over here very best of luck and hearty congratulations to have Dr. Suresh as your mentor, dean, head of the department, who is training. He just shared with me. One of the programs that he is framing, he framed all those programs during our degree days itself, where we used to get one program per month. Luckily, you are getting that one program per semester you are getting. So we used to get those programs, one program per month. And my name used to be there in degree college notice board all the time. So it is not like suspended or something. It is like this guy went and participated and bagged some prizes and all things. So, sir, thank you. Thanks a lot for giving me this opportunity and calling me here, and happy to see these budding entrepreneurs over here. And thank you everyone. And any queries? No queries? Yeah.
Thank you so much. Take the mic.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much for your sharing thoughts, sir. And as a business analyst, what are the works you are doing?
As a business analyst?
What are the works you do?
Okay, business analyst has different criteria in different fields, but the field right now I am working is into IT. I am a PM, business analyst cum project manager, and we in our company are, if you are in shipping lines, I worked for crewing for approximately 6-7 years, and I done QHSC audits for approximately 4-5 years. So in shipping field, in a ship, generally on a layman's terms, you will have approximately 22 to 23 crew. That means like a captain, you would have heard of captain. So just along with captain, there will be another 24 people will be there. These people will be working on contract basis. So they complete their contract, they should get down at a port, and the new person will go on. So you have to do all the paperwork for him. In order to do all this stuff, you need a software. So I am the one who is in charge of constructing that software and selling that to clients. So that project is right now with me. So we used to call it as MAC, M-A-C-A, Managing Content and Knowledge. So because since I worked for these many years in crewing and QHSC, so they thought like I would be fit for this position, and they want me to design a new software program to make these crewing functions. I just said in a layman terms, there are so many other aspects, like accounts, that means payroll, their promotion, appraisals, all these things will be there in a seaman's life. The activities from what you call it as end-to-end recruitment or joining to resignation, all these aspects should be put forth in one common software. Apart from there are some other terms called safety operations and all these things. So we need to design this particular software and hand it over to the clients. So I am head of crewing entity. Yep. Anything?
So I want to be a business analyst. What are the areas you need to focus?
First, you need to work on the area in which business you need to be an analyst. Let us say, soon upon you complete your MBA, you will be taken as a support level staff. That means like an associate business analyst or an assistant business analyst. You will be taken in that way. So you will be assisting a business analyst in preparing documentation. For example, I need to prepare a project. I need to do a requirement matrix. I need to do a set of documentation. If you start learning what documentation is required for that particular, I am saying in terms of shipping software industry. A typical IT industry will have business analyst, which is different. Typical business firms will have business analysts who are different. So first, you think in which area. Approximately by third semester, you will be more into that particular thing. You are right now first semester, right? Second semester. So you will get your specializations here. So in the next semester, you will be getting specializations. After you complete this second semester, you can be able to judge in which way you can go. You want to go in HR, you want to go in finance, marketing, systems, logistics and shipping, anything. Then you analyze your capabilities of which area you want to come in. If you want to come into this shipping sector, yes, there are certain business analysts. If you want to come into IT sector, yes, there are certain business analysts. Because to my projects, even I was discussing with Dr. Suresh that I need some Java developers and all things. So even for my project personally, I need 20 people, not business analysts, but 4 Java developers and all. So first think which area of expertise you are more interested into, then work on that area. Then you can, if you want to seriously come into this particular thing, just be in touch with Dr. Suresh and you can be in touch with him. I will make sort of internships or something. I'll try to speak with my organization. I'll try to make some internships. Then you will understand more what a business firm is doing and how you will analyze the business. So you first work out on your area of expertise, if it is HR or finance, because finance analyst is different. So work out on your area of expertise, then we all are there to help you out. Operations. Which operations actually? It is human resource operations, finance operations. Inventory management, perfect. So if you are into inventory management, I suggest you do a kind of like a diploma in logistics and supply chain management, and then or kind of go to that kind of firms which has this shipping logistics or logistics and supply chain management kind of firms are there. In India there is one. So you go to that firm, do a project over there, then you will understand how they will do IM, that is called inventory management. When any inventory comes up, what are the areas and levels that are there in supply chain management? Each level in terms of logistics. The supply chain management is a general term. In terms of logistics, the supply chain management is entirely different. In terms of steel industry, the supply chain management is entirely different. In terms of cement, all these household supplies, the supply chain management is entirely different. If you are into this inventory management of logistics, the supply chain management is entirely different. If you want to do this inventory management kind of stuff, go to those kind of companies where you can learn what is the inventory management in these kind of logistics and supply chain management companies. That will give you more exposure.
So the inventory management will come from the area of manufacturing or purchasing servicing?
Service area as well, because manufacturing inventory will be like, if I am manufacturing steel, I have a different set of inventory and I will be doing that to firms. That means, let us say if I am doing some kind of kombucha cement or something I am manufacturing, and I will put the inventory in my godowns, where the supply chain management will be on a huge basis. That means from and being a manufacturer, I will send them to local vendors. So my customers or consumers, my customers are not consumers. My customers, there is a difference between customers and consumers, you will learn that. Customers are my immediate parties who will take my, whatever is the thing that I am manufacturing. Consumers are end users of the product. My customer is different, my consumer is different as a manufacturing firm. And I will give that particular thing in lots. If you go to a local dealer who is who is not actually manufacturing that, the supply chain management will differ. To that local dealers also, there will be sub-dealers, or to the local dealer I can directly go and I can purchase that. So to the local dealer, customer will go, consumer will go. So the inventory management differs for manufacturing industries and these kind of dealerships. Welcome. Anything else? Any queries? Girls? Nothing? Sorry? Karthikeyan, yes. Ask.
The logistics company must start from a
Logistics company?
how you can start a company for logistics?
How you can start a company? Okay. These guys didn't attend management meetings till now, right? They attend. In your man meets or management meetings, have you ever presented business plan? Okay. Try, if you go to VIT Chennai, because I attended that management meeting, there will be a center called business plan. That will show you how you can start a new firm. Like, if you are going into, because starting a business is not one-time thing. It is like, it is not one person who is involved in that. Finance managers will be involved, human resources will be involved, marketing will be involved, logistics, or so many other divisions will be involved. So this particular business plan, if you are making, you can understand how you can start a firm. And now you should think the firm that you are starting is already for the existing product, or you are starting a firm as a startup for a new product that you want to get into the industry. If you want to start a firm, which is a kind of new product, there are certain people who used to fund those particular entrepreneurships. So you can contact them, and if they are very much good enough, they will feel that this particular requirement is there in the industry, they can fund you, and you can start up your firm. This is the easy process. The process is, if you are manufacturing or if you are making any firm that is marketing the existing product, then you need to settle yourself. How your product will get differ from the product that is already there in the industry. So there is difference. You should show the difference because if I am using Lux soap, if I am using Santoor soap, or if I am using something else, there is a difference, right? So that's why Hindustan Unilever has manufactured different kinds of soaps, different kinds of shampoos. They haven't manufactured only single thing. The existing products, they have come up with rose color, they have added sandalwood, they have made the Clinic Plus into the blue one, which people didn't like, they made it into white color. So this kind of inventions are constantly happening in the industry. If you want to start a firm with the existing products, there you have to be very much careful. So how you want to take it into the end consumer. So that is where the problem comes. So I suggest you start a company where these days, there are so many requirements are there. For example, I will tell you, when I am coming across this particular toll gates, I couldn't see any, not a major hotels are there. Only minor things are there. If you would have come across that Chennai to Vijayawada highway, on the highway there used to be a thing called NH5 Plaza, hotel. It's a restaurant. People used to cross that toll plaza and they used to stop the cars in the bay. They used to go to the restaurant and they used to refresh and they used to go to home. I'm not saying that you should start a restaurant or you should start a chain and all. This is like the restaurants will be there in the city, but the requirement where the requirements are there, you should get that. You shouldn't go to Rajasthan and sell sand there. You shouldn't come to Chennai and sell seawater over here. So where the requirements are, who are my consumers, who are my customers, you have to identify this, make a business plan, do the things. Try presenting business plan, every one of you try presenting this business plan, which is a very good segment of manager. Try making it, it will help you in the future. Any questions? Yes? Girls, no questions? All good? You know everything, or you want to know everything, or you doesn't want to know everything, or feeling sleepy, hungry, angry? So if there are no questions, then I might take your leave. Okay? Thank you everyone for giving me this opportunity. Thanks a lot, sir. Thanks a lot.
Because as I used to tell them, several batches do come and go, but few remain in the mind and in the heart. As such, one of my batch student, Mohan Sashank, a very obedient, loving, and knowledgeable, caring, and charismatic student, Mr. Mohan Sashank. So give a big round of applause to him. I always used to tap the talents. I easily find who is having the talent, and I will touch them in the sense I will provoke them. I provoke them to unleash their talents. As such, Sashank also is one. Every batches, I used to have some few students with me. Students used to run the programs. Whenever I used to organize the programs, I never take help from anybody. I take help from students. Students used to run, and they have done a lot of things. And he says that we have gained. No, we will be giving, but you are acquiring. But you have that ability to take it, and you are shining away. Now you are shining. The plant or a tree gets happiness when the buds get blossoms. So I feel very happy, delighted to see my bud blossoming today. Fine, give a big round of applause to him.
Most executive form of courtesy. Now I call upon Mr. Tarun to give the word of thanks.
Vote of thanks to all the dignitaries who have participated in this program. I would like to thank our chief guest, Mr. Mohan Susanka Mutyala sir, who honored this function with his inspiration, thought and ideas. Thank you so much, sir, for your valuable time that you have spent us by sharing your thoughts on leadership and attitude. It was really a wonderful session, sir, and I hope everyone has enjoyed this session. Also, I would like to thank our respected principal, Professor Dr. E. Kamalraman sir, for all his support and encouragement. Our head of the department, Dr. A. Suresh Kumar sir, for all his motivation and organizing such a valuable program for us. And our beloved faculty members for their kind support and guidance. And last, I thank my dear friend for their active participation and involvement. Thank you all for making this program successful one. Have a great day. Thank you so much.